Today I'm travelling to what's often considered one of the UK's most isolated inhabited islands. Foula is home to around 30 people and lies 20 miles off the west coast of the Shetland Islands. It's a wild and dramatic place, known for its huge sea cliffs which are battered by the Atlantic Ocean. Let's catch the small plane to the Isle of Foula. The flight out to Foula leaves from Tingwall Airport on the Shetland mainland and takes about 15 minutes. The return ticket costs £106.38. We are going over to Foula just for a little trip. Okay, ready to go? Thank you so much, this is so exciting. The plane is an 8-seater Britten-Norman Islander, and this is a public service obligation flight, which basically means it's a lifeline for the island. It operates between 7 to 13 times a week, depending on the season, and it's very much dependent on the weather conditions.
If you see here, there's a big and a small, and then there's two jacks there, big and a small.
Okay.
So I'm Duncan, I'll be taking you to Foula. Flight time will be about 15-20 minutes. Flying conditions are absolutely fine. You remember the safety brief, you've got information packs in the seat pocket in front, feel free to look at those. 3 exits on the plane, 1 beside me, there's 1 on the right for rows 2 and 3, 1 on the left for rows 4 and 5. It's the red handle at the back of the door to open and close it if you have to do it yourself. If that doesn't work or we need another way out, we've got the red handle on the perspex. We can pull that in and use the gap to get out if we have to. In the unlikely event of a water landing, there's life jackets under the seats. So on my call, we can put them on in the plane, tight around your waist twice in a double knot, but only inflate them outside the aircraft. As soon as you're out, sharp pull down on the red toggle, the jacket will inflate. If it doesn't inflate or need a top up, there's a top up tube just beside your mouth, and there's a light and a whistle on the jacket for attracting attention. Usual airline stuff, we'll keep our seatbelts on throughout, please, no smoking or vaping, phones and flight safe. All set? 5 souls on board. Request engine start and the basic service.
The Shetland mainland is generally pretty flat, and we flew over lots of sea inlets, which in Shetland are called voes. We also passed over a fish farm. Shetland produces a huge amount of seafood, and around 80% of all the mussels produced in Scotland actually come from Shetland. The views over the Shetland mainland were incredible, and as we climbed a bit higher, the outline of Foula could be seen in the far distance. You can also reach Foula by ferry. It runs 3 times a week, and the crossing takes around 2 hours and 15 minutes. There seems to be a bit of a debate about which island within the UK is considered the most remote inhabited island. I've just shared quite a few videos from Fair Isle. It's located between the Shetland and Orkney Islands and is technically the most geographically remote inhabited island in the UK. It's located 24 miles from Shetland and 27 miles from Orkney. However, people often claim Foula is the most remote inhabited island, but when you measure the geographical distance, it's actually not. Foula is 20 miles from Shetland versus Fair Isle's 24 miles, so Fair Isle is technically further away geographically. However, Foula has a smaller population of around 30 residents versus Fair Isle's 50. Foula also has no shop and has less amenities. This is not my first trip to Foula. I spent 3 days on the island before, and having spent time on both Fair Isle and Foula, I'd say Foula definitely feels more remote and more isolated. There are of course other islands in Scotland which are more remote, but they're not permanently inhabited. One that is often mentioned is St Kilda. It was evacuated in 1930, and these days it's only temporarily inhabited by workers for the National Trust and the Ministry of Defence. I will link my videos to these other islands in the video description if you'd like to watch them. As we got closer to Foula, the hills and cliffs started to come into view, and you can see just how dramatic this island is from the air. Foula is home to Kame, which is said to be the second highest sea cliff in the UK at 376 metres, just after Connacht on St Kilda. These cliffs here on Foula are full of seabirds, and Foula is known for having some of the most impressive seabird colonies in the country.
Okay, welcome to Foula. You can undo your belt, someone will get the doors in a second. You're welcome to come out and stretch your legs, Ruth.
Okay, we made it to Foula.
Bar at the top.
How old is the plane?
This one is actually not that old, I'll say that. 2006.
Okay.
This one is.
So this is the runway. They were saying the island nurse is over here today. Have a good day at work.
Have you been before?
Yeah, I came last year to Foula, and I stayed about 2 or 3 days down at the Risty Guest House.
Oh yeah.
Down there, yeah. But no, it was good. Did lots of hiking and saw the puffins. I was here when the puffins were here, so it was good. Are you coming back on the flight later? Yeah. Have a good day. Oh, this is amazing. It's such a clear day as well. So beautiful. It was amazing to see Foula so far away, and then as you're getting closer and closer and closer, you see it come into view, and wow, I wonder how many people are going back on this flight. So you can see over there in the distance, mainland Shetland. That's how far we came. And then when I came last year, I got picked up from the airport, and then I stayed down that side of the island. So it was quite a walk from the airport to the accommodation. It was about an hour, but it's a nice walk. Duncan, the pilot, was telling me this plane was built in 2006, so it's younger than my camper van Ernie boy, who was built in 2001. I've just come over to Foula because the weather was good and there happened to be a spare seat on the plane. I'm not staying on the island this time, so once the plane was ready, I got back on to return to the Shetland mainland. If you'd like to know more about Foula itself, I made a full video about the island before, which I'll link in the video description below. Back we go to Shetland.
All set?
Yeah. On the way back, I was the only passenger and somehow was lucky enough to sit in the co-pilot seat again. In what felt like no time at all, we were already approaching the Shetland mainland. And from the sky, you could see the roads, houses, and even the wind farm coming into view. We then came into land and touched down safely. This was such a fun little adventure out to Foula. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.